I transmigrated into an ABO world, where, to my utter disbelief, the system matched me with a male omega who was 10 years older than me. And I fell for him at first sight. The other alphas, green with jealousy, sneered and spat. You're so low class, you'll never be respectable. Please. Who cares about being respectable? I'm not trying to climb society's ladder. As long as I can climb into Leonard Stone's bed, that's all that matters. Welcome to History Channel. Subscribe to follow all our latest adventures. Story begins. I had barely arrived in this ABO world when the system matched me with a male omega, 10 years older than me. I was 20, so that made him 30. Look, I had ambition. I wasn't out here trying to chew rocks, but that didn't mean I'd eat just anything either. I'm straight, I said firmly. Thanks, but no thanks. But that very afternoon, the omega messaged me, asking if I'd join him for dinner. Polite, formal, almost earnest. I hadn't figured out what I wanted for dinner anyway, so why not? The moment the waiter pushed open the door to the private room, I felt like I'd just been hit by a freight train called love. The man sat there in a crisp suit, pale as porcelain, brows slightly furrowed, eyes weighed down with exhaustion he couldn't hide. He tilted his head to look at me, giving a slight nod. "Mr. Jones," he said. The sharp tips of my teeth scraped my tongue. I nearly lost control right then and there. "Leo," I said, curling my lips into a smile. Leonard Stone looked briefly stunned. His lashes fluttered, but he said nothing more. "Please, have a seat." "Gladly." He slid the menu toward me, fingers steady, his tone even. "I've already ordered a few dishes. Mr. Jones, feel free to add anything." I snapped the menu shut and grinned. "You've got good taste, I'm good with your choices." He exhaled quietly, almost relieved. "You seem like a straightforward person, Mr. Jones, so I'll get right to the point." His left thumb rubbed absently against his knuckle. "I have a pheromone disorder. I need an alpha partner. My assets will be shared equally." "Well then. Looks like dinner's served." I leisurely raised my wineglass. "Thank the heavens I was born an alpha. Cheers." Leonard lowered his gaze. "If you want children, we can consider that too," he added after a pause. "But I'd prefer to wait until my condition stabilizes." I choked on my wine. So much for maintaining any kind of composure. Leonard immediately handed me a handkerchief. "Mr. Jones, are you all right?" I pressed my index finger to my lips, still coughing, eyes watering as I reached for the cloth. My fingers brushed against his palm, just barely, just enough. "I'm fine. Thank you." Was this fate handing me a soulmate? Forget being straight, I quit. We registered our marriage not long after and officially began our new life together. The key to a successful relationship? Make sure your partner doesn't even realize he's being spoiled. In the beginning, Leonard used to freeze whenever he saw me in the house. But he's used to it. He even greets me. I've made it as far as meal prep. The soup he drinks at lunch every day? I made that. For the past 2 weeks, I've been going to classes when I need to, staying home when I don't. No games, no bars. On my off time, I even picked up a side hustle. Hi everyone, I'm Norman Jones. Today is October 12th, Saturday, and it's sunny, perfect weather for corn and pork rib soup. Comments flew across the live stream. Soup again. Aren't you a food blogger? I love corn and pork rib soup. Norman looks beautiful today too. My cousin is a food vlogger who literally cooked his way into someone's heart. I learned a few tricks from him, and this whole food streaming gig? His idea. I didn't want to only make soup, I said with faux shyness, but my husband doesn't want me to overwork. I had to beg him to let me in the kitchen. Is the host an omega? I'm jealous of Norman's partner QAQ. Looks like we have new friends watching. I rested my chin on my hand and smiled softly. I'm an alpha. Suddenly the chat exploded with exclamation points and question marks. An alpha cooking and live streaming every day? Are you really planning to revolve around an omega your whole life? Revolve around Leonard Stone for a lifetime? My cheeks flushed pink. I murmured, just thinking about spending forever with my wife, It's enough to make me dizzy with happiness. The chat froze, then exploded. Say it again. I'm jealous. Norman, stop being so obnoxiously sweet. I'm wheezing here. An alpha with a face and cooking skills? This is omega level divine luck. I'd trade 10 pounds of fat for an alpha like that. I hummed a laugh, carefully rinsing ingredients with practiced hands. Most comments were teasing and sweet. But of course, the haters always slipped in. Disgraceful. Disgraceful, Myas. I don't need to be presentable, I just need to be present in Leonard Stone's bed. Idiots. Still, it got me thinking. Why wasn't Leonard using me? Leonard came home early today. I got back from class in the afternoon and found his suit jacket carelessly tossed over the living room couch. Frowning, I picked it up. A faint scent lingered near the collar, subtle and clean. I turned my head and sneezed. After straightening the jacket, I headed upstairs and knocked on Leonard's door. Leo. No answer. I knocked harder. Leonard Stone. My hand instinctively twisted the doorknob. The door cracked open slightly. I hesitated, and then I heard it. A low, broken sob, shaky, barely restrained. Suddenly, everything clicked. I lowered my voice, coaxing gently. Leo, can I come in? The only reply I got was the sudden quickening of Leonard Stone's breath. If you don't say anything, I'm coming in, I warned softly. I pushed open the door. The room was dark. No lights. Every surface was soaked in a hazy, ambiguous gloom. The color drained from everything, leaving only shadows of different depths crouching silently along the floor. Leonard was curled up on the bed, lying on his side. As I took a step in, I realized the silhouette on the bed was getting smaller. He was pulling into himself, like he was trying to disappear. Leo, don't be scared. It's me, Norman. My voice dropped to a whisper as I dropped to my knees and slowly crawled toward him. Leonard gradually uncurled, lifting his eyes to meet mine. When I reached the edge of the bed, I finally saw him clearly. I took his trembling hand, still clutching the sheets in a death grip, and brought it to my lips, pressing a kiss to his knuckles. His face was pale. His eyes glassy and wet, shimmering like a lake just before it overflows. He looked so beautiful I couldn't help but whisper, God, baby, you're gorgeous. Leonard whimpered. His body shuddered at the word, and for once, the man who was always calm and composed looked completely undone. You shouldn't call me that. I'm older than you. It's not appropriate, he muttered, trying to regain some dignity. I bit down lightly on my tongue to stop myself from laughing at how adorably flustered he looked. But I like calling you that, baby, I insisted with a teasing smile. I'm just a kid. Won't you take care of me? Leonard looked lost, clearly at a loss for what to do. Why didn't you tell me you were feeling sick? I asked softly. You were at school, he said, voice uneven. I didn't want to bother you. But I'm your medicine now, remember? You should be more assertive. He hesitated. Norman, we agreed on a marriage of convenience. You're still young. I don't want this to become a burden on you. I rested my cheek against his palm and looked up at him with mock sorrow. But if even now you won't call me your baby, does that mean you don't love me anymore? He instinctively answered, I do, but didn't say anything more. His face was flushed, eyes darting, lips trembling. I sighed quietly and asked, Then tell me, baby. If your next heat hits and I'm not home, what are you supposed to do? Leonard tried to think through the fog. I should tell you. Close, but not good enough. I kissed his palm. Half right. Half, he frowned, clearly dissatisfied with such a score. I raised a brow. The correct answer is, call me and yell, Norman Jones, if you don't come home right now, I'm leaving you. Leonard blinked, stunned for a second, then burst into laughter. Tears finally slipped from the corners of his eyes. You're ridiculous, he murmured. I grinned, nuzzling his hand, and then I heard it. A soft murmur, I'd never leave you. I froze. Leonard reached out to ruffle my hair. You don't need to tiptoe around me, he said gently. You're allowed to live your own life. You shouldn't be carrying this kind of weight on your shoulders. You're a student. But I promise, I'd never leave you. I shut my eyes and took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. But it wasn't enough. "Leo," I whispered, voice cracking, "please, just use me." I couldn't keep pretending I was okay. Not when he was right here. Not when I wanted nothing more than to hold him and protect him. Let's talk about the gap between theory and practice. The moment I decided to eat this soft meal, I'd gone to the library and studied everything I could about ABO dynamics, heats, and bonding. I took notes. I prepared. I'd always been a good student, even won scholarships every year before I transmigrated. But now I was kneeling at the edge of the bed, eyes wide in utter disbelief. Leonard Stone was half sitting up, lips twitching as he tried, and failed, not to laugh. "You did great, Norman," he said. "For your first time, this was already impressive. First blood. I could feel your pheromones. I'm feeling much better already. Double kill. Next time will definitely be even better. Triple kill." I pressed a hand to my chest. "Leo, stop. I'm begging you, stop talking." Leonard lowered his gaze, biting back a grin. My pride was in shambles. I soaked a cloth in warm water and gently wiped the back of his neck. Seriously, if fate made me an alpha, couldn't it have included an auto-install for bonding skills? All I did was slobber on Leonard's nape like a golden retriever in heat. "Norman," Leonard said cautiously, "does your school offer biology classes?" "SED." I looked at him with dead eyes. "Yes. Every semester. I even got a perfect score on my midterm this term." He went quiet, then patted my head. I gave up. Whatever. At least we were closer now. I'd make it up to him in other ways. Omegas in heat like sweets. It helped their mood. As luck would have it, my cousin's specialty was desserts. He was the one who taught me how to cook, and I was especially good at baking. Opportunity only favors those who are prepared. Hi everyone, I'm Norman Jones. Today is October 17th, Friday. The skies were gloomy this morning, but my heart's clearing up, so let's bake something sweet, jasmine grape cake. Norman's evolving. Breaking. Norman has unlocked the dessert route. No longer Mr. Soup. Who is this? Is Mr. Soup abandoning soup? Sigma. I raised a brow. Leo's coming home early today, so I'm making a little cake for him. He's making cake for Leo Hartgrow. Can't blame you guys for being jealous, I said with a wink. My husband is incredibly cute. The chat exploded. Shameless. Cute. Let us see just how cute Mr. Soup's man really is. I ignored the noise, calmly stirring jasmine cream in a small pot. Wait a sec. Has anyone actually seen Mr. Soup? How do we even know Norman's telling the truth? Norman always saying, my husband doesn't want me to? As if Mr. Soup even cares. Haha, what a joke. The live stream comments were going wild. I was just about to clap back at them when I heard footsteps on the stairs. I looked up, and there he was. Leonard Stone, dressed in pajamas with a coat lazily thrown over, was coming down the stairs. I rushed to meet him. Leo, why are you out of bed? I asked, one hand instinctively hovering near his arm. I was thirsty, he said simply, resting his hand on my arm. Just came down to get some water. You could have just called me, I muttered. It's just water, he replied, calm as ever. No need to bother you. Even now you won't trouble me, huh? I sighed dramatically. Don't tell me it's because you don't love me. Before I could finish, Leonard pressed a finger to my lips. I shut up immediately. Norman, he said, voice low, can you get me some water? I beamed. Sure, Leo. Wait right here. I mixed hot water with cooled boiled water and followed him back into the bedroom, cup in hand. Once everything was settled, I glanced back at the screen, only to see the chat had completely spiraled. Where'd the host go? His honey was thirsty, off to bring him water. He's been gone too long. Doesn't love us anymore? I read the last one and smirked. I only love Leo. Thumbs up.jpg. Am I the only one worried about the cream? Cream? Are you okay, Cream? My heart skipped. I turned back to the kitchen. Oh no. The pot. I hurried over and started cleaning the scorched bottom with a grimace. It's fine. No big deal. There's still plenty of ingredients. Leonard said he wasn't hungry and he didn't eat much for dinner, but he did finish the cake. So I made my move. Leo, I said sweetly, can I sleep with you tonight? He paused. I pressed on. I'm just worried you might start burning up again, and I won't be there to help. He glanced at me, faintly, then looked away. Okay. I barely contained my glee. After a very serious round of brushing my teeth and washing my face, I knocked reverently on his door. Inside, the lights were dim. Leonard lay on his side beneath the covers. I tiptoed in, trying to be quiet, until he said, I'm not asleep. No need to sneak. I bolted to the bed, dove under the covers, and pulled them up to my nose, inhaling deeply. Leonard, clearly unused to company in bed, stayed quiet. What does your scent smell like? I asked softly. He hesitated, then answered honestly. Rice porridge. Rice porridge? I laughed. That's a great smell. Right then and there, I decided, rice porridge was now my favorite food. My baby's scent, after all. And what does my scent smell like? I asked next. Leonard pursed his lips. Why are you asking me? I gave him a pout. The truth is, I was born unable to smell pheromones. I've never known what mine smells like. He froze, expression softening into something deeply pained. I ran my tongue lightly against a sharp canine tooth, the slight sting helping suppress the smile that wanted to escape. I snuggled into his arms. He stiffened, then slowly placed a hand on my back, hesitant, but growing more comfortable. It wasn't even a lie. I was a human male. Of course I couldn't smell pheromones. But now he was feeling sorry for me. Do you really dislike me because of it? I asked, muffled against his chest. No, he said seriously. Don't think like that. Then what does mine smell like? He squinted, struggling. Kind of like firewood? Firewood? What kind of weird scent is that? He tried to explain. Like a wooden cabin on a snowy day. That warm, comforting kind of smell. Then quickly added, I like it. A lot. I laughed softly. Burning firewood to cook porridge. Baby, we really are meant to be. His lashes fluttered wildly. There are people who use gas stoves in the city, you know. I wriggled deeper into his arms. Nope. Rice porridge only tastes right when it's cooked over firewood. I don't want a gas-flavored alpha. He sighed and patted my head, helpless. Okay. Firewood and porridge, perfect match. So I'm firewood and he's rice porridge. Firewood goes with porridge. That means we go together. That means we're soulmates. I suddenly looked up, eyes gleaming. You said it. You said we're a perfect match. He blinked. No, I didn't. But I was already burying my face back in his chest, sighing with satisfaction. So happy. The next morning, I made porridge. As the pot simmered on the stove, the kitchen filled with the scent of rice. Leonard's pheromones were also rice porridge. The whole room smelled like him. My mind wandered. Desire prickled beneath my skin, and the soft ache in my body reminded me, I was hungry. Hungry for him. I crept into his room, determined just to look at him. He was adorable even while sleeping. As if sensing my gaze, Leonard stirred and cracked one eye open. Norman, he murmured, voice husky. Are you going into heat? Was I? Maybe. I didn't know. Probably. Leonard sat up slowly, still looking tired. He turned his back to me and began unbuttoning his pajama shirt, one button at a time. The collar fell open, revealing the clean lines of his collarbone and a stretch of pale skin. He moved his arms slightly, and the shirt slipped to his elbows. He tilted his head, exposing his neck to me. My throat bobbed. That was pure temptation. When I didn't move, Leonard hesitated. Maybe it's not that bad yet? He slipped his shirt back on and crawled across the bed to me, kneeling. Then, slowly, he wrapped his arms around my shoulders. The moment he touched me, my pheromones surged, like wildfire. He's still not satisfied? Leonard frowned, then tipped his head up and kissed me. I froze. Completely. He had to do all the work himself, soft lips brushing awkwardly against mine until he was left panting from the effort. Leonard looked troubled. Sorry, it's my first kiss. I'm not very good at it. I wrapped my arms around his waist, trying hard to control the pheromones that flared wild and intangible in the air. My throat was dry. Baby, can you kiss me again? It was like he finally came to his senses, his cheeks flushed with shame. He tried to retreat under the covers, but I shamelessly hugged him tighter, teeth grazing his soft side. I didn't say a word. My jaw was tense, my eyes slightly narrowed. Those usually warm and easygoing eyes of mine were now soaked in dark ink, so deep they looked bottomless. I liked him. No, I adored him. When I woke up the next morning, the bed beside me was empty. I stared at the pillow still carrying residual warmth, fingers brushing along where he'd laid. Leonard Stone, seriously? The moment his heat ended, he went back to the office? That day was our school's sports festival. Parents were allowed to attend. I hadn't expected anyone to come. After all, Alpha Norman Jones had no parents. Hey look, isn't that Omega over there super gorgeous? Someone whispered excitedly. I turned lazily to look where he pointed, glanced, skimmed past, and then jerked my head back around. Leonard Stone. I shot a glare at my classmate. Yeah, gorgeous. That's my husband. I hadn't expected him to show up. I rushed toward him at once. He had been scanning the crowd, eyes slightly anxious. When he saw me, he visibly relaxed. Sorry, he said. I heard parents were welcome, so I came on my own. Hope I didn't cause you any trouble? My head swam. I wrapped my arms around him and pressed my sharp teeth gently against my tongue. How to describe what I felt? It was like a little rabbit had taken up residence in my chest, bouncing around gleefully, but instead of chaos, it filled me with a glowing calm, as if my whole body had sunk into warm water, wrapped in softness. Leonard patted my shoulder, confused. Norman? Oh no. Leo, I love you so much. The festival lasted 3 days. Leonard only came the first, but that was more than enough for me. When the festival ended, I came home and decided to do a bit of laundry. I walked over to Leonard's room to grab his sheets. But the door wouldn't budge. I tried the handle again and again, before it hit me. Leonard had locked the door. The world collapsed. He didn't return until late at night. The moment he opened the door and saw me sitting in the pitch-black living room like a forsaken spirit, he jumped. Norman? Why are you sitting there? I was reflecting, I replied gloomily. Reflecting? He repeated with a laugh as he turned on the lights. The sudden brightness made me squint. Reflecting on why my baby suddenly decided to ban me from his room. He fell silent. So? I pouted. Does this mean you don't love me anymore? Leonard walked over and sat on the sofa across from me, face serious. Norman, I've been thinking. My right eyelid twitched violently. About what? He hesitated. I'm getting older. And? I narrowed my eyes. You're much younger than me. That's not my fault. I snapped. Leonard lowered his gaze. It's selfish of me to keep you tied to me. I want to rewrite our contract. Once I recover, we'll get divorced. I'll give you half my assets. I frowned deeply. What the hell are you talking about? His lips parted. Norman, I want to set you free. I stared at him blankly. Set me free? I don't want freedom. I want you. Hi everyone, I'm Norman Jones. Today is October 26th, Sunday. The weather inside my heart is a storm. Let's make something intense. Ooh, what's the dish? What kind of intense dish? Roasted freedom pig's feet. I get the pig's feet. I get the freedom. But what the hell is a freedom pig's foot? Did Mr. Soup break up with you? No, I said flatly. Case solved. Mr. Soup doesn't love him anymore. I brought the cleaver down with a smack, grinning through gritted teeth. Rubbish. Such a weak rebuttal. The pig's feet may be falling apart, but that cleaver isn't. Norman? Are we eating out tonight? Leonard's voice came from the kitchen doorway. I slammed the cleaver onto the cutting board again, loud enough to shake the air. With who? Freedom? Leonard raised his hands in surrender. Norman? I exhaled hard and lowered my gaze. My voice softened. No. I'm making dinner. Then can I help you? He asked gently. The pang hit my chest. There was no point sulking. What kind of man throws tantrums at the person he loves? Leonard stepped forward, reaching for the vegetables. I stopped him. The water's cold. Don't touch it, I said. Leonard Stone stood off to the side, helpless, eyes fixed solely on me. So unfair. Those eyes of his were made for loving someone. Go watch TV. I'll handle this, I added. He hesitated, then asked tentatively, will there be cake tonight? I kept my face stony. What cake? Jasmine and green grape, he said, watching me carefully. When I didn't answer, he immediately tried to backtrack. It's okay if... There is, I cut him off. You're not asking for the moon. If I can't even manage something this small for someone I love, then I'd feel pretty useless, I said softly. Leonard stood there, stunned, before quietly retreating from the kitchen. Norman, you don't look mad at all. Note to self, when fighting, serve braised pig's feet and jasmine grape cake. I pouted. He tried to make it up to me. I can't act like I don't appreciate it. The chat exploded in confusion. Wait, when did he try to make it up to you? Did we miss something? So, making someone bake a cake for you counts as apologizing now? I put the knife down and rinsed my hands. Where are you going now? I touched his hand just now. It was cold. Gotta tell him to dress warmer. No hope left for us. Say it again. I'm jealous. The next afternoon, I came back from class and found Leonard Stone in the kitchen. His sleeves were rolled up unevenly, sweat beading along his forehead. Leo, are you cooking? He nodded. Go watch some TV. Dinner will be ready soon. I stared at him, suspicious. I left the kitchen slowly, but not before discreetly plugging in the rice cooker. I'd already decided that no matter what he cooked, I would eat it. But even that didn't prepare me. It looked amazing. It smelled pretty good too. The taste? Utter disaster. I fought back the urge to gag. Leo, you made this for me, right? He nodded sheepishly. Then it's all mine. You eat the leftovers from lunch. I added with faux authority, this is punishment for upsetting me the other day. Leonard looked defeated, but didn't object. That night, I woke up to stomach pain so sharp it felt like something was squeezing my gut from the inside. I was drenched in sweat, forehead soaked. I pushed my damp bangs out of the way and tried to laugh it off. They say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Well, Leonard must really love me, because this grip he has on my stomach? It's brutal. Nope. I needed a hospital. Quietly now. Don't wake Leonard. That was the plan, until I stepped out of my room, stumbled and collapsed on the floor. His door flung open, light pouring out. Norman! Leonard rushed over and immediately started dialing emergency services. My eyes rolled, stinging from the sweat. I squinted up at him. Leo, I think this is the end. Stop talking nonsense, he barked, panicked. But I have one last wish. Don't know if it'll ever come true. Tell me, he said, brows drawn. I want to be with you, Leo. I don't want to get divorced. His lips pressed together. I grabbed his arm, tears brimming. Leo, it hurts so much. Sweat trickled down his temple as he held on to me. If you get better, I'll agree to anything. Got it. I want to sleep with Leo. I want him to hug me. I want him to... Baby really does love me too much. After that episode of acute gastritis, Leonard never dared enter the kitchen again. I kept a straight face to comfort him, though I secretly laughed every time I saw how glum he looked. It's not your fault, I said. My stomach was just too weak. To cheer him up, I asked the Omegas in my class for tips and bought a trending dessert to give Leonard something new to try. That evening, I was cooking when he came home. Quietly, he drifted over and stood close by, nostrils flaring slightly. Where did you go today? That nose. I chuckled. Caught the scent, huh? I had cake. Brought some home too. As I opened the fridge, he suddenly said, tomorrow's going to be sunny. Yeah, I saw the forecast, I answered casually. Silence. Then he added, it'll be a good day to wash the sheets. My hands froze mid-motion. Was he implying something? No way. Leonard Stone is way too reserved for that kind of thing. I smiled. Sure. I'll change the sheets tomorrow. More silence. Then I felt a soft tug at my shirt. I meant, would you like to maybe? He trailed off, but I knew exactly what he meant. My entire body buzzed. Holy crap. Leonard Stone. Initiating. I played it cool. You mean a temporary mark? He fidgeted with the hem of his shirt, gaze darting away. What if I said, a lifelong mark? His voice was barely above a whisper, but I heard him. The towering alpha looked down at me. That usual tenderness was gone. What replaced it was a storm of possessiveness, roiling deep in his eyes. My tongue pressed against a sharp canine. Sure. Night fell. The cake was delicious. I had wanted to talk more with Leonard Stone after, but he was already fast asleep. Still, the curiosity gnawed at me, so the next morning, once I made sure he felt fine, I asked, "Why did you suddenly bring up lifelong marking?" Leonard lowered his gaze. "Who did you eat cake with yesterday?" I blurted, "Last night I ate off your," and stopped mid-sentence as realization slammed into me. The scent. My clothes smelled like another Omega's pheromones. Leonard didn't answer. That was it. He'd been jealous. I sat up on the bed, serious, raising a hand in solemn oath. They were just classmates. I asked them which bakery had the best cake. As thanks, I treated them. Nothing happened, I swear on my life. I only love Leonard Stone. I'm yours for life. Leonard's ears flushed crimson. He threw a pillow at me. Put some clothes on. I casually used the pillow to cover myself, then scooted over to him with a grin. Made my baby jealous, didn't I? That's my fault. I swear there won't be a next time. I'll keep my distance from everyone else. He turned his head away, trying to dodge, but I was a step ahead, leaned in and planted a loud kiss right on his cheek. After a bit of playful chaos, we got up to wash and dress. When Leonard was getting ready to head to work, I opened my arms and smiled. "I want a hug." He gently pushed my shoulder. I stumbled back a beat too late, landing dramatically on the couch, eyes closed, hand over my chest. I've been pushed over by my baby. Suddenly, something soft brushed my lips. I opened my eyes. He was smiling, the corners of his mouth lifted in the faintest curve, his eyes aglow with tiny flecks of light. "I love you." My heart went berserk, slamming against my ribs like it was trying to escape. My fingers even started to tremble from the rush. All I managed was a dry, love you too. God, that was so lame. Leonard came home early that afternoon, saying he was working from home. I sat off to the side, quietly admiring his hands as they danced across the keyboard. At some point, he paused his typing and started slowly tapping letters again. I squinted. "And I'm in?" I looked up in surprise. Leonard had been trying to keep a straight face, but he lost it, let out a quiet laugh. Nope. I couldn't stay up here anymore. I was going to ruin his work. I snuck downstairs to the kitchen to make him a little cake as a reward. "Hi everyone, I'm Norman Jones. Today is November 1st, Saturday. Feeling sunny today, let's make a lemon green grape mousse." Norman's in a great mood today. Is it just me, or did Norman's beauty level go up again? I love mousse so much. My husband loves me a lot too, I added, trying to sound modest. Pretty sure that's about Mr. Soup? Yep, the good mood's definitely tied to him. Leonard came downstairs and saw I was streaming. He didn't say a word, just grabbed a glass of water as quietly as he could and tried to sneak away. I grabbed his wrist. "Leo, were you coming down because you missed me?" "Oh, it's Mr. Soup's Amy. So pretty, let me just lick it real quick." Leonard didn't resist. He glanced at me, then tapped his cheek with his free hand. "So bold?" I raised an eyebrow, delighted. Then stepped away from the camera and kissed him right on the cheek. He froze, then lifted a hand to gently wipe the bit of whipped cream off my face. "Norman, say it with me. Self-indulgent delusion." Haha. The chat stalled mid-laugh, because Leonard leaned forward and kissed me back. I turned back to the camera, smiling even wider. "Alright, everyone. Say it with me. Confirmed." The end.
Thanks for stopping by. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos.